Ricky Thornton Jr. comes roaring back. Brandon Sheppard battling Brian Shirley's terrible no-good week. Plus, we'll talk one of my most hated topics in track prep, weekend sprint car action, and more. Let's go. It's Sunday, February 2nd. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is Dirt Tracker Daily presented by Kubota Genuine Parts. We started off this past week of daily shows with me wondering if we needed to start worrying about a handful of late model drivers after some of their opening night performances. And we'll start this week by saying that one answered back fairly emphatically about where they are, and that is Ricky Thornton Jr. Things went sideways last night on a tough all-tech surface with RTJ crashing late, but he won Thursday and Friday, he led laps last night, and he was in contention before that late crash. That team going home after Volusia and getting their car fixed instead of going to the Hunt the Front shows seemed to pay dividends. RTJ drove like a man possessed. That crew really seemed like it's come together. And that included an 8.5 second win on Friday night. We had a good battle early there Friday, but then once RTJ got out front, he was gone. It was over. He did get lucky on Thursday with Moran having that late flat tire, but let's not forget before that, he'd driven up from 8th to 2nd. You got to be in the right place at the right time when those things happen. And sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. The car will need repairs again because that crash last night was pretty ugly, but if this is the RTJ we are getting this year, it's going to be a long season for his competition. Devin Moran went to victory lane last night, which felt deserved after his poor luck on Thursday. At least for the Lucas portion of Speed Week so far, Moran has been the most consistent driver. He's the only guy with top 5s in all 4 races and one of 2 with top 10s in all 4. It's not been uncommon to see Moran open the season well during Speed Weeks. We've talked about him plenty in past years, and certain years where we knew he wasn't running the Tour, where he had such a good Speed Weeks, we're like, maybe he should run the Tour. The other one in that top 10 stat is Dalton Wilson. And as you might have guessed, Moran and Big Perm, the top 2 in the standings. Hudson O'Neal, he did have a better week that included winning that Hunt the Front show at Needmore, which we talked about, but obviously that was in Kevin Rumley's car. He was 10th at All-Tech Thursday, 4th on Friday. Those were good bounce backs, but was running towards the front last night before an excursion through the infield kind of ended his night. Still got work to do down in 14th in the Lucas standings. The other one we're going to keep talking about is Brandon Sheppard. Nobody has had to battle more than he has in this opening stretch of races, which included a comeback after a flip on Friday night. The Rocket House car still missing any sort of race-winning pace, but Shep has kept them in contention. In 4 races, his starting positions are 19th, 20th, 27th, and 18th through these Lucas races. B-mains all 4 nights, but an average finish of 9.25. He leads Lucas in feature plus minus. He went 19th to 7th, 20th to 13th, 27th to 7th, and 18th to 10th. The last time Sheppard was full-time with Lucas was 2022. In 53 starts that year, he was in B-mains just twice that entire season. Last year, with the Outlaws en route to the title, 3 Bs in 40 races. On the Flow Racing drive home on one of the nights, I can't remember which one, Michael Rigsby did say that Mark Richards talked about having 3 different drivers in that car in the last 12 months, and that they are all very different. Hudson O'Neal needs different things than Tim McCready, who needs different things than Brandon Sheppard. And that certainly can't be overlooked here through this opening stretch. But despite the pass with Sheppard, it does seem like it's going to take some time for this combination to try and find its way again. Jumping from the Longhorn House car back to the Rocket House car, not a magic bullet here for either side. Also, Brian Shirley, absolutely vicious week. They had the fire at Needmore. We talked about that last week. Then a nasty hot laps crash last night. And that was after B-main ends Thursday and Friday. That team, it's going to be licking its wounds coming up and having to fix more race cars. You have to wonder if that's going to affect their outlaw season, at least in this early part of the year. As for some bright spots, Dalton Wilson certainly won, like I mentioned earlier, 2nd in the standings. His series status, I think, will remain a question, along with probably Tim McCready, Max Blair, Jimmy Owens, Drake Trotman. But if Wilson keeps running like this, he might just stay on the Lucas side. And Tyler Erb, solid so far, 3 Lucas top 10s in 4 races, 3rd in the standings. We don't know what his status is either this season. He wasn't a Lucas regular last year, ended up kind of doing a pick and choose schedule. It seems like maybe some think he's going to do that again, do the pick and choose thing. But, if he keeps running like this, maybe he'll stick with Lucas. I will bring up as well the challenging track all weekend. If I don't say something, I'm going to hear about it. People are going to be like, how come you're covering up for the track? There was added track work all 3 nights, and things didn't get over until late last night. There's no way around that. And obviously, nobody wants that. Outside of something egregious or just really especially negligent, I don't care about track prep and the conversation around it. It's lame, it's played out, it's just the nature of the sport of dirt racing. Sometimes track prep is going to be amazing, it's going to go great, they're not going to need to do anything all night. Other nights, it's going to be a battle, it's going to suck, you're going to be there for a while, but like, how do you fix that? I'd rather have extra track work and banger races afterwards, kind of like we had this weekend, than no track work and bad shows. And also, nobody wants things to suck on the track. A lot of effort is put into making things as good as possible, and sometimes it just doesn't go the right way. There are so many variables involved. If folks think it's easy to make these tracks right, have them feel free to hop in a grader or a pack truck at the next race and help out. The late model teams are off today with action starting back up tomorrow. They've got practice at Ocala Monday before racing with Lucas starts back up on Tuesday. Also in Florida, the last 3 nights was the start of DIRTRACKR Nationals with the ASCS 360 sprint cars. 50-plus cars the first 2 nights, 48 the last night. And I did see some grumbling about purses and Volusia being tough on cars and why, teams keep going there. But obviously that didn't stop anybody from showing up. And it makes you wonder, too, if WRG and Volusia aren't on their way to maybe having a marquee 360 event with this early season racing. Outside of the 360 Knoxville Nationals, you figure Trophy Cup, that World Short Track Deal at Riverside, the Gold Cup, Stuart Alley Memorial at Eagle in 2024. Very few shows last year drew this many 360 sprint cars. Although after the whooping that Justin Peck and the Rudine team put on everyone all 3 nights, guys might not come back next year. Peck dominated every lap of the feature Thursday and Friday, and then had to start deeper last night after a poor draw. That didn't stop him, though. He went 8th to 4th on the opening lap and was the leader by Brian Brown right near halfway. So a complete DCN sweep for Peck for these 360 shows. Brady Bacon, Brownie, Cole Macedo, Scotty Thiel, Emerson Axum, Danny Dietrich, they were all in the top 10 all 3 nights. Kind of what you would have expected from this field of cars. It's tough, though, to really know or understand if there's anything to take away from these 3 nights when kind of looking at the bigger sprint car picture. All these guys that ran up front, they're not going to be with the ASCS all season. And it's difficult to know really if the pace in the 360 shows is going to equate to speed like next week against the World of Outlaws when the 410s get bolted in. I will say for Peck, though, he ran World Finals late in 2024 with Rudine. Remember, he'd shifted over from the boot car and had 2 podiums and an 11th. This Rudine part of his career is certainly off to a very good start. We saw this team win an all-star title with Zeb Wise before struggling last year, and it at least makes you sit and take notice about what could be possible with High Limit later this year. Justin Peck certainly as talented as they come behind the wheel of a sprint car. Other than that, I don't know that I'd read too much into what we saw the last 3 nights. Volusia quiet today, Modified's back Monday and Tuesday, then the Outlaw season starts on Wednesday. Down under in Australia, James McFadden kept to his winning ways, taking down the Australia Sprint Car Championship just days after winning the Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic. He topped Lachlan McHugh and Kerry Madsen in the finale. I know it wasn't a clean or easy weekend at Murray Bridge, but you're going to have that in big-time auto racing sometimes, like I just talked about with the track prep. Sometimes things just go sideways. Other weekend winners included Corey Hedgecock, who won the Southern All-Stars opener at I-75. Cody Overton won the Crate Show at Alltech, driving for Big Frog. And Cole Falloway and Kurt Spalding were modified winners at Volusia. All right, that's the Daily Show for this Sunday. Thanks, as always, for tuning in. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day out there. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.